Hello everyone, welcome to Rasayan Academy once again, guys. So, as you can see, I've started a new series of question practice for all of you, and this is going to be decoding the best questions of TIFR exam. And what are we going to talk about in this session is the very nice previous year questions on the topic pericyclic reactions. So, not only this topic, we are going to cover most of the very scoring and important topics of the TIFR, and we will be trying to understand that how the solutions could be found out of very tricky. So the TIFR questions are tricky to understand because there's a little bit of more of the language and twisted question types, right? So we are going to understand how to solve the tricky questions of TIFR examination. I hope that you have also seen the notification video and you have started filling up the forms for TIFR exam as well for PhD and integrated PhD, right? So yes, we move onwards to the first question. Now, this is a previous year question of TIFR 2013 and it's a very nice question. So let's start solving this. First of all, read the question by yourself, guys, and then try to decode it by yourself. Obviously, we are going to solve it over here. So first thing is the compound 1, this is right over here, reacts with vinyl Grignard reagent. All right, this is your vinyl Grignard to give two compounds A and B, as it is A and B after hydrolysis. So first of all, you are having the, obviously you cannot take the Grignard and water together. So first step may you are having the vinyl Grignard, second step you are having water. So A gives compound 2 upon heating. Further reaction of A on heating gives you compound number 2. All right, very well. So B is discarded in this question. We are only going to take A. Let's see. Predict the structure of A. What is A going to be out of all of these four options? Okay, so yeah, what do we see? We see that these two options have the endo attack, all right, of the nucleophile of the Grignard, and these two options, option number C and D, they are having the exo attack. All right, so how are we going to differentiate which is which and what is your correct answer? So first of all, let's try to understand the question. Let's try to answer. So you are having this molecule, and if a Grignard has to attack, it can attack either from above the plane, which will be known as the exo attack, or from below the plane, which will be known as the endo attack. So usually, guys, what happens is in a Norbornene system or Norbornenone system like this, as I have already shown you, I've already made a video on this, so you can check it out as well. I'll paste the link for it. So in this kind of a system, you see that there is one bridging carbon over here, so less steric hindrance as compared to two bridging carbons for the endo attack, so more steric hindrance. So the attack which gives you the major product should be the exo attack. So this is the product of the exo attack, exo product, and this should be the major product. All right. However, you also have an endo attack product that is going to be the attack from below the plane, but this is supposed to be the minor product because of two bridgehead carbons over here, which are providing steric hindrance when the attack takes place from below the plane. All right. So this is supposed to be the minor product. However, when we look at the question, we see A and B are formed, which means that both the major and minor are talked about. Otherwise, you are not expecting any other two products. So, what we are going to do is A on heating gives you this product. So, this is a task now to find out which is A. So, out of these two, someone on heating is giving you this molecule. And if you can figure out heat is going to be doing a is going to catalyze a 3,3 sigma tropic reaction, okay, that is going to be your cope rearrangement. So particularly this molecule 3,3 sigma tropic is going to be cope rearrangement. But yes, one more simple detail, that is after hydrolysis. So this is a very small and minor detail which you have to catch over here. So you cannot have O minus, you have to have OH. otherwise you'll do it wrong, right? So option number B and option number C are absolutely wrong, because you are doing the hydrolysis, you are doing the aqueous workup, you will have the alcohol. Okay, now what do you see? The exo product cannot give you 3,3 sigma tropic, because the two alkene system are very far away from each other. So for a co-prearrangement to happen, you require the 1,5-diene system. So this is also a 1,5-diene, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is also a 1,5-diene, but for the 3,3 sigma tropic, you require this orientation. So we are going to proceed with the minor product and not the major product, which means that A is the minor product and B is the major product, which is the exo product, but we are not going to deal with the major one. So that is why this question is tricky, because this is our habit that we usually proceed with the major product, but here it's telling us to proceed with the minor product. So let's continue with this and let's find out. So A is your molecule with an endo attack. So this is your endo product, and the minor product which we are proceeding with. On heat, on providing heat, it's going to give you a 3,3 sigma tropic reaction, right? So the 3,3 sigma tropic reaction, let me show you, is going to be like this. You can just do the numbering, it will be really great. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this rearrangement is co-prearrangement. All right. Okay, oxy co-prearrangement basically. So when you do the rearrangement, 3,3 sigma tropic, the bonds are going to move like this. And be very careful while drawing the product, because you have to confirm that you are getting this. Okay, so the product is supposed to be like this. Now deliberately drawing it in exact same conformation so that you can confirm what's going on. There's an OH, there's a double bond over here. This is your new 3,3 bond which has formed. Okay, so these two carbons are connected. This is your new bond, and this is the new junction to the two rings that we have formed. So one is hydrogen over here, another is hydrogen over here, right? If you still want to go with the numbering, this is 1, 2, 3, and this carbon is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so if you move onwards and if you try to write it properly in this way, you will see that the ring is supposed to be like this. Starting from carbon number 1, so carbon number 1 and 2 are these. You will get one double bond over here. This is your third carbon from which a new ring arises. So there you are going to get the new ring, which is going to be a 6-membered ring like this. Okay, the other one is a 6-membered ring. So this is the third carbon, this is the third carbon, 2 and 1. So on the second and 1 carbon you have a double bond, and there is your OH over here, right? So this is how you write the molecule properly, and this is a trick, because if you are first numbering it properly, you'll be able to write correct. Now both of these hydrogens, guys, as you can see, are pointing in the same direction. So if you want to write them above, it is correct. If you want to write them both below, that's also correct, but take care that these two are cis to each other, are pointing in the same direction. Okay, right. And after tautomerism, you are going to get this final molecule like this. And as you can see, if you just rotate it a little bit, you are going to get the option number 2, the product number 2 that you have got. So our answer has to be option A. And what are we going to be careful about? That is, it's not an oxide, because the workup has already taken place. So B and C are wrong, right? And here we are dealing with the minor product. We are proceeding with the minor product, not the major one. So that's why it's endo and minor, and your rearrangement is co-prearrangement in the presence of heat. So your answer is option number A. Very nice question back from TIFR 2013. So we see a recent question now, TIFR 2018, and let's say what it is asking. Predict the final product of the following reaction. So first of all, guys, in the series of pericyclic reaction, when you see a system like this, not the cyclo, but the hexatriene basically, and you see heat, you are quickly going to think of electrocyclization, but we have to write the rules. All right, so what are the rules for electrocyclization? Woodward-Hoffmann rules, that is 4n system, 4n pi electron system. In the presence of thermal condition, right, it's going to give a con-rotatory motion. 4n pi electron system, photochemical, it gives you disrotatory motion. 4n plus 2 pi electrons, thermal gives you disrotatory, and 4n plus 2 pi electrons, photochemical, gives you conrotatory. So these are the four rules by Woodward-Hoffmann for the electrocyclization reaction. Now what you have to do is you have to see that you first do the electrocyclization in the presence of heat. Now this is a 4n plus 2 pi electron system. So in the presence of heat, it's going to be a disrotatory motion, as you can see, right? And to understand this rotatory motion, please draw these hydrogens, and please see that the methyls are outside. Both of these methyls are outside, pointing in the outward direction, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to, let's say this rotatory motion is opposite side motion. So we are going to pick up or hold on to these methyls and move them in the opposite directions, which will ultimately lead to a cyclohexadiene molecule with both the methyls on the same side. It could be above, it could be below, but the most important point is they have to be cis to each other. Okay, so after the disrotatory motion, they are going to be cis to each other. Now the second step provides you maleic anhydride and a Lewis acid, which makes sure that you are having the 4 plus 2 cycloaddition. But the most important point is stereochemistry. So if you are trying to draw the maleic anhydride, which is like this, be very careful in selecting the endo selectivity. All right, so you cannot draw the molecule like this. What you have to do is you have to draw the molecule in endo favored position. So let's just draw it like that. You have to draw it like this. Okay, which keeps the carbonyl below for yeah, this is going to be kept below for the secondary kind of interaction. Okay, also what you can do is you can for better clarity, you can just write the molecule in a simple way. Just keep on, just write the methyls, don't write the hydrogens, and you can keep it like this, both of these hydrogens. All right, and now just do the Diels-Alder reaction. Make sure you are doing it with the double bond. Okay, 4 plus 2 cycloaddition. What you are going to get as a product is very simple. You will get tricyclic compound like this. And since we have favored the endo reaction, since we have favored the endo product, so the uh, anhydride part is going to definitely go down in this way. The hydrogens are going to be on the exo side. So the methyls are cis to each other, and so are the hydrogens. Now what we are going to take care of in this question is option number C and option number D. Both of them are giving you transmethyl, which means that the electrocyclization is done in a wrong way. So this step makes sure, right, because the cis and trans of the methyls are determined right in the the electrocyclic reactions, right? So it must be wrong over here. It is giving you a conrotatory motion, which we are not having. 4n plus 2, thermal condition, disrotatory. C and D are absolutely wrong. Now, A could be correct and B could be correct as well. Why? Because it is just the position of your diene. If you can make the diene react from above or from below, and that's why two reactions are possible. But you once again check that you are getting the endo product as the major product. Diastereomer, endodiastereomer is more favored as compared to the exodiastereomer, right? So your answer is option number A. All right. Now, what about the stereochemistry of the methyl? It is going to be towards this system, or you have to keep the methyl towards the alkene system. That only depends. That only matters if you are just inverting your diene, okay, and keeping the methyls below. That's going to change. All right. So it's the same thing, right? The Diels-Alder reaction is a diastereomeric reaction, right? Diastereoselective reaction. So it's going to give you both this product as well as this product, right? So it's correct. Now, I hope you can understand. You can try out the same Diels-Alder reaction by this diene, which is just the rotated version of this, okay, nothing else. So your answer is option number A, guys, and we are going to have many more questions like this, and many more topics to be covered. So what you have to do is you have to drop in the comment section that how you are liking the video, and also if you are liking, then please share to all of your friends, and I'm going to see you in many such videos like this. We have a lot to cover, and if you have any suggestions or any questions, you can post me on Telegram as well. Right, till then, see you and take care. And if you want to join for the full course for CSI Net or GATE, you can join me on Unacademy by using the code Jagriti S. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.